There we go. We are online now. I apologize for the late start and the last minute change. For some reason, our streaming service and YouTube were not cooperating this morning. Now that they are all awake and working, awesome. Fred, the first one to comment on this video. I apologize. I know there were a couple of comments and people waiting on the original link. Hopefully, everybody makes it over here as originally planned. But once again, thank you for showing up for another live at Area 13. Of course, no longer Bolton Ebikes. However, that means we still have some Bolton Ebikes swag like this hat. So that's obviously the hat on the website. And this is the first time we've ever done like this auction style thing on our website. So we do need to kind of test it out and make sure it's working. So I thought this would be a good way to test it out because we have a bike auction going live later. Now, just so you guys know that this isn't just like a made up thing, like this is the hat, sticker still on the outside, still got the sticker underneath. It's brand new. And whoever buys this, I'm going to sign it and customize it basically however you want. You want me to draw a little bicycle on it? Whatever, I'll do it. Doesn't matter. I'm going to do that for you. So let's see. We got Fred. Jim says it's trying to snow in Idaho. It was below freezing on my ride into work this morning. So it has been rather cold, but I did it anyway. So we're getting some cold rides in. Hello, Violet. Hey, we chatted on the phone yesterday. Good to have you here. Oh, I see. I actually thought your comment was regarding Jim saying, talking about snow, but you're actually saying nice hat. That's funny. Thank you. Awesome. So let's jump over to this auction page here and let's see that it's actually working. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to put the link to the product itself in the chat right here. There we go. So we have it in the apparel section. I was trying to get it on the home page so people could see it right away, but it looks like the actual auction buttons and everything aren't actually working there. So maybe there's some behind the scenes magic we can do to make that work. And I'll try and do that in the background here. And while we're at it, I figured what I could do is tell you guys about the current battery sales that are going on, as well as the P61, the custom bike that's going to be starting the auction in an hour, or just under an hour now that I'm running late, and see if you guys had any questions about that specific bike. Happy to answer those before the video about that releases, because many of you may have seen it already. If you haven't, that's okay. But what I call the P61 was a custom build, uses the Bafang M625 1,000-watt mid-drive motor, custom frame, everything. And for a while, I couldn't actually release the video. Basically, I got sent a motor kit, and then at one point, they're like, we're not ready to actually release that motor yet, so can you hold off? So I waited months, actually, to make this follow-up video. And that's what's coming out today, just on a regular recorded videos at 10 o'clock is some more specs about the bike. How fast does it go? Things like that. So you can actually see how the motor itself performs. Because that was the whole reason for building that bike in the first place, was because I got sent the motor and I needed to build something with it. All right, let's jump over here. I'm going to put this in the background. So here you go. Here is the auction. Oh, nice. So I am honestly, like I said, this auction thing is brand new. So it looks like we had somebody bid on it. It doesn't say what amount they bid. This is just on our website. And then somebody else bid $10. So nice. We're up to $10 for the hat. They were 25 new, so that means somebody's willing to pay $15 less if I sign it at the moment. Hopefully we go up from there. We'll see what happens. This is an experiment, but again, we're not going to make another one. You may have noticed behind me. Well, it's kind of above me. Yes, there is a Bolton hat on my shelf. That's my own personal hat that I've worn. It's dirty, and you can't have that one. I'm keeping that one. This is the last. Again, this is the last brand new Bolton trucker cap with the stickers, everything on it, and this is the one that I will personally sign and mail out to you when the auction is over. But yeah, we're gonna tweak the website a little bit in the background while we're doing this. I'm multitasking a lot here. Ask away if you guys have any questions whatsoever. And David's got a question. Awesome. Let's put that up on screen. Do these auction prices include shipping to New York, or is this only for pickup? Great question, and something I was going to address. For the hat, absolutely. I'll ship this to you anywhere. So yes, shipping included with whatever the selling price is. For the P61 bike, yes, I'm also going to include shipping for that to at least the lower 48 states. So if you're somewhere in the mainland of the United States, I will ship the bike to you. You are more than welcome. I would encourage you to come pick it up if able, of course. But if we need to box it up and ship it, we will. And whatever the auction price is, will include shipping. Now, if you're outside of that area, if you're in Alaska, you're in Hawaii, somewhere else, and you still want to bid on that particular bike, you are welcome to, but we will have to arrange shipping separately and just see what the cost is. So hopefully that helps answer the question. Yes, I'll send the hat out. I don't even care where you are. We'll send it out. But for the bike, free shipping in the lower 48 states, Hawaii, Alaska, or somewhere else, we will have to figure that out separately. Nice. Thank you. We just had a couple more bids, it looked like, come in. Somebody bid it up to 13. I think I can guess who that is based on the little asterisks on here. And then got bid up to 25 again. Somebody starting with an M. I don't know who that is, but thank you. That's awesome. So price is going up. 46 minutes left. So far, the software that we put in appears to be working. All right, Fred, sign Michael above Bolton and sell it for $100. No, we're not doing that. It's funny, all the people that have asked over the years, oh, is it related to Michael Bolton? That's not even his real name. That's actually like a stage name. Go look it up. It's true. Stretch NFT. we have joked about that around here. I have no idea how we would do that or if it would even make any sense. William Carey, most reliable bike you guys sell? That's a good question. A lot of our bikes are really reliable. I mean, if I just go strictly based on, just totally off the top of my head, by the way, what do we have basically the least customer interaction with after the sale as far as technical support? I feel like the Crusader and the Avenger, the little folding bikes, hardly ever hear anything about those issues wise. I know some people worry about folding bikes and there's more moving parts and pieces, but those have been actually really reliable. And that's not to say that the other bikes aren't reliable, but those have been really solid. Been very, very happy with how those hold up just to riding overall. Fred, don't worry. Not only a joke, he says. I mean, if you've looked closely, you may have noticed, I mean, we accept, I don't think anyone's ever done it, but we do actually accept like crypto payments of different stuff on our website. We do that kind of quietly behind the scenes. If somebody asks, it's there. We don't push that though, but it is there. Let's see. Jim wants to know if there's any update on Blackbird deliveries. Oh, we had another bid. Let's see. Starting with a V, $33. Awesome. You guys are going to be super happy with this. And like I said, I'll customize it however you want. You just let me know. But cool. I'm excited. I'm glad that somebody's gonna. I don't know what you're gonna do with it. You can wear it if you want. You can throw it on a shelf on display. I don't care. It's yours, and you can be the one who has the only probably brand new pristine condition Bolton Ebikes hat. All right, back to Jim's question. Blackbird deliveries. So we are basically out of parts, I think, for the few frames and things I have here. Once we're basically waiting for a shipment by sea at this point. That will have a few components so we can wrap up some more bikes that we've got here. And that's going to have a whole bunch of bikes in the containers so we can fulfill all of those outstanding Blackbird orders. So those bikes were loaded into a container last month, or containers. Anyway, they're in containers. And the sailing date was towards the end of January. So right now, your Blackbird, if you've ordered one, should be on the ocean on its way to California. So that's the current status. I know the ports have been really backed up, but hopefully by prepping all of our paperwork, everything in advance, we can get through as smoothly and quickly as possible. And then when the bikes get here, we will do our usual inspection, very carefully go through everything, while also trying to ship them out as quickly as possible. Yippee, he says. Awesome. And thank you for your patience. I assume, without looking up order numbers or anything like that, I assume you've probably been waiting for some time. Many people have. Or you might have just ordered it last week. I don't know. People who are ordering right now are getting a really short lead time on the Blackbird bikes. Charles, e-bike companies making mountain bikes versus mountain bike companies making e-bikes. I'm curious, are you just wondering if one is better than the other, or what is the difference? I think that is a question worth addressing, especially now that we have the Falcon coming out and the Hydra from Watt Wagons. And of course, we're going to, keep going down that road because I love mountain bikes. So we should sell mountain bikes. But yeah, I mean, let me know. Are you wondering specifically if one is better? Is there a specific question in there, or do you want me to address it in general, which I'm happy to do. I'll come back to that. If you comment a little more, I'll be more specific. If not, I'll answer your question as best as I can. Russell says, any new tires on the horizon? Not that I'm aware of. Nothing that I've seen. Just some slight variations and some treads, some updates. No new tire innovations that I have seen. And I would say I'll be surprised if we see any major new tire things come up, only because tires in general are just hard to come by. They're out of stock. They are, basically we don't put tires on our website right now. If somebody calls and says, hey, do you have this specific tire? We might have it, but we don't even put it on our website. We're just trying to reserve those for our customers, because tires are just one of those things that's hard to get. So anyway, hopefully that answers the question. Not that I know of. Are there tire companies working on new tires? Probably. But when I was at the Sea Otter Classic in Monterey, which is back in October, there was a tire company there. I talked to them, and they had some fat bike tires on display. I said, but do you have any? And the answer, of course, was no, we don't actually have any of those. They're like, we have them coming in a few months, kind of thing, which was not a surprise whatsoever. Jim, yep, ordered the fall for the Blackbird. Thanks again for your patience. We really, really do appreciate it. Violet Storm, $33. That's where the hat is at right now. Once again, the last Bolton Ebikes hat could be yours. Customized, signed, whatever you want. We'll ship it out to you. That's what we're auctioning off right now. And the bid currently sits, again, at $33. We got 38 minutes left on that auction, at which point then the auction for the Black Widow starts. All right, Russell is kind of addressing the mountain bike question from above. They'll lock you to an ecosystem, while e-bike companies tend to use more generic components. Yeah, that's generally speaking true. You know, if you buy an mountain bike from us, there's room to modify or get replacement parts very easily down the road. You know, if you get something from a specific company, mountain bike company, going e-bikes, then yeah, you tend to be locked in quite a bit more. That's probably the biggest thing, besides the fact that the motors that they're using are going to be Shimano, they're going to be Bosch, they're going to be Bros, and they're all going to be pretty well locked down. None of those have throttle options. So if you want a throttle, you basically aren't going to buy a electric mountain bike from a mountain bike company. You're going to have to buy from an e-bike company that makes mountain bikes. And I'd say that's what we are. We are an e-bike company that happens to make mountain bikes and not the other way around. And my hope is that we will start breaking down the barrier between the e-bike companies and the mountain bike companies. And all of a sudden, there's going to be an overlap. And what's going to happen is the mountain bike companies are going to say, uh-oh, these e-bike companies all of a sudden have some good mountain bikes, and they have more powerful motors. They have bigger batteries. They have all the components we do, and they're less money. That is the entire reason for creating the Falcon. Is I wanted a bike that could compete with the quote unquote mountain bike companies that happen to make e-bikes, and beat them at their own game. I talked to somebody at the expo recently that we were at in Sacramento, and it was pretty interesting because he had just purchased a Specialized mountain bike, an electric mountain bike, and he wanted to know. He came there for that reason, to look at the Falcon and the Hydra, and try and help make a decision on buying one of those. And he wanted to compare to his Specialized that he just purchased. The weights were about the same. They were both carbon fiber mountain bikes. The batteries were roughly the same. The Falcon battery might have been a little bit bigger. When you look at the suspension components, very similar. We're both using SRAM shifters, derailleurs. We're both using SRAM hydraulic brakes. There might have been some slight differences in the models, but for the most part, very comparable specifications. And the Falcon, if we're comparing to the base model, which would be the best comparison at $5,049.99, was very comparable to his Specialized bike that retails for $11,000. That's what we're competing with here, is like the 8 to 11 grand bikes. That's the goal anyway. And from those that have ridden the Falcon, they are just blown away at how nice it rides and how much it feels like just a high-end mountain bike. That's what we wanted it to be, and it's doing quite well with that. So I didn't see any follow-up from Charles yet, but hopefully that helps. There we go. Falcon looks nice. I agree. Let's see. Jumping down. Yeah, just general comments about that. Oh, here's a question from Violet. Battery upgrade. Great question, because we are doing battery sales this week. Oh, $35. We got another bidder, starting with a J. Thank you, whoever that is. hat just got bid up to $35. I'm not an auctioneer, so don't expect like the auction sounds. Not yet. Maybe I'll have to practice that. All right, back to Violet's battery question. Upgrade from 52 volt 18 amp hour to 52 volt 28 amp hour. Can you do that, or will it hurt the bike? You can absolutely do that. If you stay at the same voltage but just go up in amp hours, all that's going to do is increase the capacity of your bike and increase your range. It's not going to hurt anything at all. So as long as you've got room for a bigger capacity, more amp hours on the bike, absolutely. You can basically always do that. As long as there's a physical way to mount the battery, you have space for it. Like I said, you got the right plug, just kind of common sense things. But if you're keeping the voltage same, definitely you can go bigger on the capacity, and that is totally, totally fine. Let's see. Here's a good one. JC, say, where do you bid? So on our website, hey, $36. We just got another bid from somebody. Thank you. Oh, by the way, the bid increments are 25 cents. So you can bid in whatever increment you want. We've had some pretty big jumps. We went from 13 to 25 to 33 to 35. Now we're at 36. So to bid, you just go to the website, and if you go to apparel right here, and then you scroll down, here it is, signed Bolton Ebikes trucker cap. I'm going to paste the link on here again. So there you are, JC. That is the direct link to the product, and you can pull that up and you place a bid right there on the website. And you can do it one of two ways. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger here. I guess that doesn't really make it any bigger, does it? Oh wait, that's fine. So you can place a specific bid for a specific dollar amount right here. So you can change that up or down or whatever you want to do, or you can place an automatic bid if you are willing to pay up to a certain price and do that. $40. Awesome. Thank you. I'm pretty sure that's Violet Storm. You're on the chat. It's pretty obvious. But thank you. I do appreciate that. Yes, Jessica looks like is in the chat too. Highest bidder wins a super cool hat. I agree. Of course, they designed the logo and everything, so it might be a little biased, but I agree. And it's the last one we got, so I figured it'd be more fun if we auctioned it off like this. Awesome. All right, JC, let us know if you have any more trouble with that. Hopefully we see it go above $40 if you jump on there. That would be amazing. All right. It would be a big battery, made a challenge power plug to match the bike. Yes, agreed. Thank you, Jessica. She said she just pinned it to the top, the link for the hat. Michael, glad that I already have one. Hey, if you ever stop by with your old hat, I can always sign it here or something if you want it. All right, let's see. This is definitely Jessica. That's not me. Gonna get my auctioneer voice out. Yeehaw. No, we're not doing that. I suppose I would prefer to have that than what I've seen of like a European style auction where it's very slow. We would definitely be a little more exciting around here. All right, batteries. Before any other questions jump in, bid is at $40, 29 minutes left. Let's jump over to our batteries. To check out the deals we got going on. Okay. So this week only, if you buy a battery from us, you will get a free, yes, I said free, limited edition battery shirt. So I just designed this shirt just for this sale. If you buy a battery this week, you get one of these free. They are available in a bunch of different colors, different sizes. There should be something to fit just about everyone. You can also just buy it for $24.99 if you'd like, if you don't need a battery. But it's got an e-bike, little electrical symbol, the battery on it. This is another limited edition t-shirt. So once this sale this week is over, this shirt is going to go away and not come back, at least anytime in the near future. It's, again, limited edition, only for this sale. You can buy the shirt, or if you get a battery, you get it for free. And speaking of batteries, we decided to put some crazy discounts on batteries. Any more bids yet? Not yet. We're still at 40. Jessica's asking for a 45. Let's see what happens. All right, so 52 volt, 12.8 amp hour batteries. If you're building something reasonably small, lightweight, want a 52 volt battery, those are great. $399. Never sold them that cheap ever before. That's just, it was a good deal before at $450, but $400 for a battery like that with a really good charger. What else can I say? They are, let's see, do I have a photo? I think I do. Let me double check and see what cells we got. Yeah, we're running Panasonic cells in that specific battery. So high quality cells. Again, that price includes shipping as well. That's something that most people charge extra for, especially because batteries, we send them out the proper way with hazmat documentation and everything. Shipping is fairly expensive on these guys in reality. It's a killer deal if you need a 52 volt battery. Before anyone asks, sorry, it is not the same as the Blackbird battery. It won't work as a spare, at least not on the original cradle. If you wanted to like mount that on a rear rack or something, you could do that. And you could either use the parallel connector or just plug them in individually. And the parallel connector, which is also in stock and on sale, so $10 off on those. That allows you to connect two different batteries together. They come with XT90 connectors, and then we have adapters that go from XT90 down to XT60s. So whichever connector your battery has, it works with both. Let's check. Oh, $41. We got another bid. We've got a little bit of a, can we view? Yeah, we can. We can view all the bids. Got a little bit of a bidding war going on here. We had, we'll call it C, and then a bid from V, another one from C, another one from V. Somebody starting with a J bid once, and then we got new bidder at 36. V again, and then jump back again, trying to snag that at $41. The bids are going up. 25 minutes left. All right, back to the batteries. So parallel connector on sale. The adapters are also on sale. Jumping down further, before we get into these, let's see what questions. Interesting. Trip, any thoughts on making a homemade high amp charger for your e-bike? Normally, I would say don't do it because you want your battery to be safe. But I know some people who have actually done some DIY chargers, and it can be done safely. So I have never made a video on that process or anything, or even have really a need for it. Here's the thing. If you're saying high amps, it depends on what do you mean, because not all batteries can take very many amps for charging. Odds are whatever connector plug your battery has, you can probably just buy a charger that charges at that rate. Now, I know there's chargers like the cycle satiator that are expensive, like $300, that are super nice, but expensive. And you could make something that could do a very specific scenario like that for less money. So probably just depends on why you want to make it and whether or not it makes sense or not. I would say if you're not comfortable with electronics, not sure what you're doing, don't do it. It's not worth the risk of blowing up a battery. But I know people have. I know some people online that I've chatted with, had on the podcast actually, that have done that sort of thing and had good success with it. So there is information out there, but it's not something that I've gotten into yet. JFS videos. Do any of the big triangle batteries work on the Blackbird? Excellent question. I know on the precursor to the Blackbird, which was very, very similar frame design, just some slight differences. We have put as big as the 30 amp hour triangle battery on something like the Blackbird. I've never done it on the Blackbird specifically, nor have I tested it on the 24-inch and 26-inch frames. The 24 is a little bit smaller. It wouldn't be compatible with the cradle that's on there. You'd have to remove that and move it out of the way somewhere. So is it possible? Likely, yes. There's a chance that might work. The plugs would be easily adaptable because we use, like XT90s on those, on both the Blackbird and those triangle batteries. I haven't actually tested the fit, though. So we've done something very similar on somebody's bike before, but I can't be 100% sure. We'd have to actually grab one and do like a test fit. It's not an option we offer. No plans to offer that. The only thing that's potentially in the works for Blackbirds at some point in the future is a bigger capacity battery that fits on the cradle they already come with. Hopefully that's something that we can get in the market or available later this year. No lead time on that. I've never even seen it in person, but I know that it's possible, and hopefully we can make that happen. Charles Cox, what size battery minimum for the BBSHD motor? That is a very good question. And I'm going to preface that a little bit by saying it probably depends on how hard you're pushing it. Whoa, I'm checking the bids over here. All right, what just happened? There was some bidding action going on while I wasn't paying attention. Last I saw was $41. Here we go. Somebody whose name starts with a C jumped back in. They were last in at 25. They jumped in at 50. New bidder, it looks like. Yep, at 51. And then back here for 55. You guys are going crazy. Awesome. This is exciting. This is fun to see. I like this. So bid is up to $55 for the last hat. And if anybody's just joining us, we're auctioning off the very last Bolton Ebikes hat. Link is in the chat here. It's pinned to the top. Jessica said, maybe that's in the comments. I'll post that again over here in case anybody doesn't have it. So we've been watching the auction here while going over some of the battery deals and battery questions. But let's jump back to Charles' question, which is what size battery minimum for a BBSHD? So the BBSHD is capable of about 1,500 watts maximum. And let's bring up a calculator here. So if you're doing 1,500 watts at, say, a 52 volt battery, which actually it's a 30 amp controller. Let's do it backwards. So 52 volts times 30 amps, 1,560 watts peak power. So if you had 30 amp hours, a big triangle battery, you could sustain, because that'd be like 1.5 kilowatts of battery capacity, roughly. You could sustain maximum power, in theory, for an hour. Now, you'd either be going up a really steep hill for an hour, or you'd be going really fast for an hour. I've got some people with the 30 amp hour triangle batteries that go on like 70, 80 mile rides without any issue at all. One of the things I love about bigger batteries and the Warthog bikes, because they have dual batteries, is the voltage drop is very low. So that performance is sustained throughout the range of the bike much better than it is on a smaller battery. So that would be the advantage to going to a bigger battery. If I was to do a custom build now, I'd probably go for like 20 amp hours or more. But that's not the minimum, which was what your question was. I've got a couple of bikes here. My first BBSHD powered bike that I ever built. I still have it here. It's actually on sale locally. It's crazy lime green color. Oh, we got more bids going on. Oh, the bidding war has continued. 56, 57. It is still going up. 19 minutes left. The time is dwindling down. Bids are going up. Awesome. You guys are too nice. um, but the bike that I've got here, I've actually got two very early builds, both BBS HD powered fat bikes. I'm doing a killer price on them. If you watch our short videos on any of our social media channels, you may have seen them. Basically, they've been around for a while. I just want them gone. They're running. Originally, I was running a 12 amp hour battery, 48 volt, 12 amp hour battery on the BBS HD. And if you have the right cells, then that's sufficient. You're just not going to get nearly as much range because a 48 volt, 12 amp hour, you're looking at like 500 watt hours. So if you went maximum power, 1500 watts, you could kill the battery in like 20 minutes. Obviously nobody does that. And I never did that either. I mean, I rode that thing for miles. You could go 20, 30 miles, just use the low assist settings. And then every once in a while I want some speed. You can pump it up and you can go faster. Let's see, bidding's up to $58 now. We got 14 bids total. Definitely have a bidding war going back and forth with multiple people. Anything can happen at this point. Awesome. So that's my opinion. 12 amp hours with quality cells. If you want to go lightweight, like let's say you're trying to do a lightweight mountain bike or something with a BBS HD, you can get something that'll work. It can handle the peak current that's going to flow out of that. But if you really want range, you don't care about weight as much, I'd go with like a 20 or bigger. 30, it starts to get heavy. I mean, that's a fair amount of weight, but you'll never complain about having range. This is a good battery question. Let's check out the other battery deals and then answer that. So the other deals we got going on, Foxbat Bronco Saber spare batteries. Looks like those sold out with some small cosmetic defects. Basically, that means that when they showed up, they might have had a scratch in the case or something, and we set them aside. Perfectly good. Those are already gone. We still do have brand new batteries that are compatible with the Foxbat, the Bronco, the Saber. These batteries will actually work on a lot of the Bike Tricks models as well. So if you've got a Stunner X, a Juggernaut, something like that, these batteries will work. And these batteries actually work on some of the Magnum models as well. Not all of them, but certain Magnum bikes these will work on. So you can always ask if you have questions about if a specific bike is compatible. If we have the bike here, we're happy to do a test fit. But $449 for a 15 amp hour battery. That's what those bikes used to come with. And then we bump them up to a 21 amp hour because that's what more people want. Next is the Avenger Crusader spare batteries. They come with a nice big 17.5 amp hour. That's on our little folding bikes. We have spare batteries available right now. $449. That would give you like 35 amp hours of total capacity. If you have two of those, you could ride all day on that. That would be amazing on those little bikes. And then we've also got a few batteries left for the Raptor, which was our full suspension kind of flagship sort of bike in the past. Great bike. I loved it. The one thing that was a downside on that bike was the weight. It was over 70 pounds, which is fine. But for a mountain bike, it'd be awesome if it was lighter. So bike had a big battery, 21 amp hours, really nice RockShox suspension. And in a way, it was kind of a precursor to the Falcon, because on the Falcon, we're using the same RockShox suspension. We're using a smaller battery for less weight. But if you upgrade the controller, it's more efficient, so you get more range. But basically, we were able to recreate a full suspension bike like that with Wattwagon's help and cut 20 pounds off of it. Which was crazy. But we have spare batteries for the Raptor available, $499. Killer deal for a 21 amp hour battery. Those are a little different than the Foxbat Saber batteries, unfortunately. But those are also compatible with some other bikes. So the Frey bikes these will fit on. There's the Frey AM1000. If anybody by chance has one of those, it'll work on one of those. But if you've got a Raptor from us, I got some spare batteries left. Really good deal. We'd love to send those out to you. Holy cow, we had more bids. We're up to $70. What just happened? We got to see what happened on the auction here. I think we were I checked, it was at 58. Violet knocked it up to $60. I don't know who this is starting with the W. Is that a new bidder? Wow, new bidder comes out of the blue, jumps it up to 61. And then, let's see, is this a repeat bidder? We're going to CK. We're going to call that person Clark Kent. Is that a new bidder too? Yeah, another new bidder just came out of the blue and jumped it up to $70. Wow, you guys are awesome. I hope you're having fun with this. All right, back to the questions. What's the difference between Samsung and Panasonic or no-name batteries? Basically, the difference is quality. Samsung are known to make really good cells. Panasonic are good cells. LG makes good cells. Now, amidst those cells, there's also different models of cells. So Samsung, for example, has a cell model that ends in, I think it's 32E or something like that, or maybe it's 35E. I don't remember at the moment. I could go look it up. But that specific cell handles a higher discharge current better than another cell they make. Now, that means it might be a little more expensive, but it performs better. So I had a local guy with a Stealth e-bike, high-end electric bikes, really expensive. You know, they're B52 models, like 10 grand, for example, but super fast bikes. The B52, like at 30 miles an hour, you twist the throttle and it will still wheelie up to like 50, 60 miles an hour. It's crazy how much power they have. Had a chance to ride one once, and it was pretty awesome. But it's a little more power than what most people want. Point is, a local guy needed a new battery for his Stealth e-bike. Stealth charged a fortune for a replacement battery. So he came to us to see if we could do something. We contacted Patrick over at High C Battery in Colorado to build him a new one. And we spec'd, I think it was 30 Samsung 35E cells, because that was a really high performance bike. We wanted a cell that could handle really high discharge rates, which means that the voltage drop was less, so the performance would be better. The bike would actually go faster with a higher quality battery. Now, when you're talking about the average e-bike, doesn't really matter that much. Most 18650 style cells can handle the discharge rates we are putting our electric bikes through. So there is a difference in specific cells manufacturers. What you get when you go into like no-name cells is they might be rated for a certain capacity, and they don't quite actually get that. They don't perform as well as they should. So that's why we tend to stay completely away from cells that we have no idea where they come from or who they are from, because you're just not going to get the capacity that it's rated for. Maybe it says on paper, that it's 20 amp hours between all the cells and the way they're configured, but you don't actually get 20 amp hours, and you're going to lose range. So that's what we don't want. The other thing that matters even more than that, or maybe equally as important, I should say, is the quality of the build. So how those cells are assembled, welded together, is equally as important. So you not only want a battery that lists a name brand company or cells, but ideally you want a company that is known for making good batteries too. So if you see an eBay or AliExpress battery that says it has Samsung cells, but it's really cheap, just be wary of that. There might be a reason it's cheap. Maybe the construction is not done very well, and that can be equally as bad performance-wise, range-wise, longevity-wise, if the battery wasn't assembled well. Trip, I think that's a comment from above about faster charging. So most the little barrel connectors that are on most of your e-bikes, they're good for like 3 amps, 4 amps maybe. If you put like 5 amps through it, you might melt the plug. Not a whole lot you could do there. If you go up to like the 3-pin XLR connectors, that connector itself is rated for more amps, but often, and I learned this when we were trying to make an adapter, sometimes the connectors they use aren't actually designed for a big enough gauge wire to charge faster, as much as the connector is capable of. But you might be able to go up to like 12 amps or even more on a proper 3-pin XLR connector. But depends on the connector. Some of them are not made to the same quality as others. And then the other limit is the BMS. The circuit that's in the battery may have a limit on charging. So if the BMS is only good for 4 amps or 5 amps, it doesn't matter if you build an 8-amp charger. It's just going to blow the BMS inside the battery. So there's a lot of little things you need to know before you try and charge your battery faster, just to make sure you don't kill something. So just be aware of that. If a BMS dies, it's actually not the end of the world. It can be replaced, but it's complicated. Sometimes it requires soldering, changing little tiny wires. It may not be something you want to do. So anyway, I don't know if that answers your question, if that makes sense or not. Again, it probably just depends on what exactly you're doing. If you got some custom massive battery, yeah, it might actually make sense to build your own charger. Again, there are some resources out there for that. William, have you ever thought of a belt drive commuter? Yeah, the only belt drive bike, of course, we've got right now is the Warthog. I'll be honest, we, in my opinion, probably don't sell a lot of commuter bikes. And I say that with a grain of salt because any e-bike could be a commuter bike. I commuted this morning on the Warthog with the roll-off hub and the belt drive. So there you go. That's a commuter. But I find most of our customers currently, and this is something we are actively working hard on changing, not to exclude anyone, but actually make our bikes available to more people. A lot of our customers are retired, semi-retired. They're not really commuting on them. They're just out having fun on their bikes. And that is what we cater to a lot. With these new mountain bikes, obviously there's a whole another demographic. There's a lot of guys getting into mountain biking and girls getting into mountain biking of a younger age as well that are looking at e-bikes. So we're hoping those open us up to a wider range of customers. So I guess to answer the question, have we thought about it? Sure, absolutely. But we just don't get as many requests for it right now. So if that changes, we get more and more people asking for a high-end belt drive commuter. Of course, it's something that we will work on, but nothing immediately in the works. Let's see. Upcountry Idaho, Blackbird battery question. Let's jump down. So looks like he noticed on our website with our battery sale. How much time we got left on our auction? 5 minutes. I better be quick. Refurbished Blackbird batteries. New guts, case connections. What are we doing with those? Basically, we're bringing those back. Let's say a customer had an issue with their battery, or maybe they had some other issue with the bike. We sent them a battery thinking that was the problem. For whatever reason, we got a used battery back. The battery might not be in perfect shape. Maybe it's got 100 miles on it. There's no way to know for sure how much use these batteries have. But what we can do is a capacity test. We can make sure that they are still performing as they should be when they were new. But the cases are not replaced. Basically, the case and the stickers that are on it, the labels, might have some scuffs and scrapes. But the battery is fully functional otherwise. So it's the original cells BMS. Basically, it's just given a once over. We check the switches, make sure the keys work, make sure everything about the battery is in perfect working order. But it does have some wear and tear of some sort. Typically, it's cosmetic, is what it is. So that's what the refurbished Blackbird batteries are. And we're still at $70. 4 minutes left. It's interesting that we have so many different people bidding on this. I'm curious if somebody's waiting to last minute. We'll see what happens. All right. Let's see. Jessica, see, I'm behind on the comments because she was saying, let's get to $60. We're way past that now. Yep, Squid Caps, -20 C's of battery killer. Yeah, batteries do not like cold temperatures. Can you upgrade batteries? I guess be more specific if you don't mind by what you mean by upgrade. Is the hat signed by you? Not yet. It will be this very hat. So whoever the winner is, if you just want me to sign my name on it, I'll do that. If you want me to like write a little note of some sort somewhere on the bill, on the top, underneath, whatever, I'm flexible. I'll sign it however you want me to sign it. But I have not done that yet. In case whoever wins the auction, they want me to customize it a little bit for them. I will do that. From 52 to 72 volt, not really. That would be extremely complicated. You're basically getting down to the cell level. You'd have to pull everything apart. It's probably more work than really makes sense. If you're kind of going to do something like that, it makes more sense to honestly just sell the 52 volt battery and just buy the proper 72 volt battery that was built that way from the start. So yes, it's possible, but I don't think it would make any sense to do that. Let's see. How does your dual battery hookup work? Basically, let's jump back up here. You got 3 connections. 1 goes to your controller, 2 go to your batteries. So now you can plug in 2 batteries via the dual parallel connector to your motor controller. And the parallel connector is very specifically designed so it does not allow current to flow from one battery to the other. And that prevents problems like battery fires and things. 2 minutes left on the auction, down to 2 minutes. So what you can do is have any 2 batteries as long as they're the same nominal voltage. So it could be 2 48 volt batteries, could be 2 36 volts, could be 2 52 volts. As long as the voltage is the same, capacities can be completely different, and it will drain both batteries by voltage down evenly. So it doesn't matter. One can be halfway charged, the other one can be full charged. It's going to draw from the one that has the higher charge until they're even, and then it will draw from them both. So that's the basics of how that guy works and what it does. So no, you don't need dual controllers, anything like that. You just need 2 batteries mounted on your bike that can plug in. Yes, of course, it's going to be signed. Robert, hey, new member for the channel. I do recognize your name, though. I feel like we've chatted at some point before. Welcome. Let's see. We got to jump back. Let's watch the auction. 1 minute left. Are we going to see any last minute bids here? Any plans for a pre-bled brake kit for the electric XP? The Juntech hydraulic calipers work on the electric XP as is. I would highly recommend those. No immediate plans for a full hydraulic setup for it. But the Juntech calipers, if you go to e-bike brake pads, hey, there we go, $71. We just had a last minute. In the last 1 minute, we got another bid. We got 50 seconds left. Let's see what happens from here. We're going to have anybody else jump in here. Let's see. Somebody asking about the Rad Rover 6. All right, I got all eyes on the auction now. 30 seconds, 29, 28, 27. We're at $71. We have somebody with the first name starting with a J, last name starting with an O is the high bidder at $71. There are 15 seconds left. Are they going to be? Oh, nope, 75, and with 15 seconds to go. All right, so here's something I didn't talk about. Here's how the auction works, guys. In order to prevent a sniper, somebody who bids at the last second, anytime somebody bids when there's only a minute left, it adds a minute to the auction. So it's going to go to the person who really wants it. So we are at $75 right now. We got 30 seconds remaining. So if no one bids, it goes for $75. If someone ups the price, it resets the clock for 1 more minute, giving someone else a chance to grab the hat. So we are right at 10 o'clock, 15 seconds left, $75. 10, 9. I'm counting down 8, 7, 6. Anybody else going to jump in? 4. Oh, yes, we did. That same name starting with the J bumped it up to 76. He or she wants that hat. And it looks like you guys are going to have to fight for it. We got 20 bids on it. You guys are too kind. I love it. We're down to another 30 seconds. Let's see if I can answer this question quick. Rad Rover 6 Plus, event and adventure. Will these bikes do well driving 100% on asphalt concrete? Yeah. The Aventon is going to have way more power. If you didn't notice, Edward, we started shipping Aventon bikes. The shipping price is a little bit higher. 77. Victoria, I know that's you. You have come back and bumped it up another $1. All right, we officially have, I would say, a bidding war. We have the same two people have gone back and forth multiple times. Awesome, you guys. So yes, either of those would do well. We can ship the adventure bike to you. I have them in stock. Like I said, the shipping is a little more than our other bikes because we just don't have as much wiggle room on those to send them out, but we're happy to do that. The adventure is the better bike. I have heard, haven't ridden the 6 Plus yet, that basically the performance is just like the older Rad Rovers. We're down again in the auction. Last 12 seconds. 10, 9. Are we going to end it at $77? 7, 6, 5. Oh, this might be it. 3, 2, 1. And that is it. The auction is officially over. Everything disappeared. I am 90% sure Victoria was the last one on there. So I'm going to have to look at the back end of our auction website to see. See, this is the first auction we've ever done, so I don't even know how this works. We're still learning. Anyway, back to Edward's question. We're going to wrap up the final questions here. There we go. The auction has been closed. Awesome. Thank you very much for everyone who bid on that. Send me an email. Let me know how you want this hat signed. Let's make it happen. I'll send it out to you. We'll package it up nice and carefully, get it out to you. Like I said, wear it, put it on display, whatever you want. I promise I will not make another one. This is it right here. A piece of hopefully e-bike history in your hands. So then again, Edward, yes, if you're going to go 100% on asphalt concrete, you could swap out to some. There we go. Since the auction is over, you could swap out to some street tires, so just a little bit better performance. But if I had to pick between the two, I'd go with the Adventure. It's got more power. I hear the Rad Rover 6 performs basically the same as the old Rad Rover. Not much different performance-wise. I know it's got some better brakes on it, but that's about it. So that would be my recommendation between those two. Let's see. Just going to finalize any last questions here. There we go. Violet, yes, I won. Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We will we'll be getting this specific hat signed and out to you very, very soon. Well, I think that's it for right now. It is 10:04. That means the auction for the P61 Black Widow is officially live. Now, because this is a bigger item, it is a bike. We are running this for 8 days. So that auction is going to end next Friday. So you have about a week to bid on it. This is going out in our email list to everyone, anyone who's interested. No reserve. Price includes shipping in the lower 48 U.S. states. If you're buying it from somewhere else, you will have to coordinate that with us. But starting bid at $1 on the P61 Black Widow and no reserve. So whatever it sells for is what it sells for. So there you have it. thank you everybody for participating in the auction on the last Bolton hat. And I look forward to joining you guys. Hopefully you come back for another live towards the end of the Black Widow auction. I definitely want to watch that and be a participant in a way of the bidding war that happens in a week or so on that bike. But it's open right now. Like I said, no reserve. Whatever the highest bidder is gets to take it home. Thank you guys for watching. Go check out that video on the P61 Black Widow. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the link for you guys in the chat right now so you can, so we make it easy. Let's see, right here. That's what we want. So now you guys can go watch this video right here. So there it is. There's the final details on the P61 in the chat. You can click on that, go watch that video, and I will talk to you guys